Okay, music. Me, I'm just a rock guy. Music is my whole life. I actually started my musical career as a campaign songwriter for Robert Kennedy. I think I was 15. As an engineer, I worked with everyone. I met John Lennon when he came to do Imagine, and I became friends with him. And we started hanging out, and he asked me if I would work with Yoko, and I started doing a lot of work with her. I made all those records with her in the 70s as her engineer. And I got a break because I got to work with the Who, Mountain, and the James Gang, and all of these, the first New York Dolls album. You know, Patti Smith, I was madly in love with Patti, I think, when we made that record, and I think she had something also for me, but we never did anything about it. You know, I think sexual tension helped make the record. All of a sudden I was producing Alice Cooper and Aerosmith, and we were starting to have hits. Oh my goodness, working with Steven Tyler and Aerosmith, you know, I love them. They're like my brothers. I've always been called the sixth Aerosmith member. Monitors have always played, like, for me, for mixing and tracking, are you know, just the most important tool that I have. Because if I don't know what something really sounds like, I'm lost. And no one ever really came out with a monitor that would give you everything, that you could just put up on the console and say, all right, this is what I'm going to track with, this is what I can mix with, until Genelec came along with their fine monitors, and they just have they're not hyped on either the top or the bottom. They make me work hard to get the sound right, and then when I leave the studio and I play that music on anything else, everything that I've heard on those Genelecs is present in the other speakers. So I'm never disappointed, and I know what it's going to sound like. I mean, I can count on it. 78, hit it. I recorded and mixed Michael Monroe on 1031s and 1032s. Michael reminded me, while, you know, he came into the room and he said, I see you use Finnish speakers. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, Genelecs. They're from Finland. I said, no, are they really? And I looked on the back, and sure they are. But I didn't know that from Finland would come both Michael Monroe and Genelecs. Well, you know, the biggest change in production is, of course, the advent of digital recording, in particular Pro Tools. But I still like the sound of tape, and I like to go to tape first. If you notice, there are two Studer tape machines in there. And I like to mix back to tape again. So I still like that analog sound, but I really have to take advantage of everything that is digital. I've used Genelec since they came out, 10 years or more. You know, as I build a mix in a Genelec, I listen to the mids, they're perfect, they're in the right place. The top is not overhyped, so it's always true. What I hear is really what I have. For me, there's no other way. I'm addicted to Genelec.